Well, hello, I am Dr. Anthony Edwards, and I am the instructor for ELHE 5399, Practicum in Higher Education Leadership. Congratulations, as that means if you're at this point, you're in your last or second to last semester, if you're graduating in the summer, and like to kind of get you to this point where you can complete your final requirements for this program. So, the way the website's laid out, so it kind of shows you links to specific modules. You have an orientation, and then there's option 1 and option 2, which we'll discuss. There's information about office hours, how to contact me using Canvas, a little information about me and my work in higher education. Again, this course, like most of the other courses you've taken, will have some work that you'll have to do. A lot of it's different from your traditional classes where you have weekly modules and readings and things like that. This course is really more project based, and so it requires some uh, discipline on your part, but nothing you can't handle. Uh, it will take a few hours a week probably to complete the requirements, so just don't let them get away from you. So it's better to pace it out. Information about scheduling office hours if you'd like to, and information about the technical equipment that you might need to complete the course. All right, so let's go to the orient. Actually, before we go to the orientation, let's go to simple syllabus. Okay, so and you'll get an opportunity once you read the simple syllabus to acknowledge it at the bottom. But this is kind of how it's laid out. It's an online course. Again, shows the office hours, how to contact me, contact preferences for the Canvas inbox. This course involves supervised activities in a higher education setting or field directly related to higher ed, such as post-secondary coordinating board, legislative body, or professional higher education association. So all right. During the practicum, the students expected to demonstrate developed or improved competencies appropriate to the professional setting. The course should be completed in your last semester. For those of you graduating in the summer, it's the second to last semester. Uh, and it can be taken with a few other courses as that are your prerequisites that you're finishing up. Okay. So generally, students have completed most of the program requirements before taking the course. If you're in option 1, you can choose to do a project or shadowing a research experience. It's basically where you're working with your employer, and you're going to have bi-weekly check-ins. So every 2 weeks, you'll submit your clock hours that you participated in the program or in the project. You'll submit a practicum context document at the beginning telling me what your project is, and then you'll do an experiential learning paper at the end describing your experience and how it relates to the course content. And we will kind of work with you so that throughout the course, toward the end of the course, the last few check-ins will have opportunities to submit drafts of different sections of the paper so that you're not having to do the whole paper at the end. You've got something to work with. If you choose not to do option 1, or you don't have the opportunity to work on a higher education related project through work, you can choose option 2 and learn about the role or position to which you aspire. Again, you do a practicum context document detailing basically what roles that you want to study. You'll complete an investigative paper where you write about the type of job and the education, the duties, things of that nature. Um, we'll have virtual speakers reports, so you'll watch some online presentations of speakers, and you'll get to write about them. All right, you'll do a write up involving interview of a selected professional. So if you want to interview someone related who does the work that you're trying to do, you can interview them, and then you'll turn in a final experience summary assessment. Okay. All right. So also important information. So make sure you're following APA 7th edition. All right, and make sure you kind of double space your papers that you're turning in. It has information here about that. So, all right, so you can say on your weekly check-ins, definitely you can use first person, but in your papers, you should probably write them not in the first person. All right. So again, information about headings. So just a lot of formatting information here, punctuation, how you do citations, quotations, etc. All right. And so again, paraphrasing is preferred over lots of quotations. All right. So a lot of information here just kind of walks you through kind of how to write in an academic format for a paper. Okay. So just information for you to review. All right. So let's talk about the practicum context. So for those of you in option 1, this is sort of kind of what it would look like. All right. So you'll provide first and last names. All right. Talk about the semester of the project, what your position is, organization. You provide contact information, the mentor's name. So it's not me. This is the person that will be supervising you. So you'll be working with someone at your employer and what their position is. Also, the organization where you're doing the actual practicum experience. So if it's not where you work, then you need to identify that. If there's a specific department that you're going to be doing this project in, identify that there. Okay, provide contact information for the practicum mentor. Describe the purpose of the practicum, different roles and responsibilities. So this is kind of like the big picture here for the purpose, and then specifically roles and responsibilities, what you're going to do. What are the expected outcomes, right, that you want to get out of the practicum experience? And this is something you and your practicum mentor negotiate, okay? So, all right. So if you are, all right, so this is information again about the practicum context. All right. So in the event I return it to you, if there's some problems, all right, you can return it in 3 days. If you're in option 2, you'll also submit a practicum context, and so it's formatted just a bit differently. So here you'll identify positions that you are going to be interested in pursuing. All right, rationale for why you are interested in those positions, the current skills you possess, all right, that make you a potential candidate, and what your present understanding is of the different roles and responsibilities of those jobs. Okay. All right. And then any other additional information that's going to be necessary. Okay. All right. If you're in option 1, you're going to have to submit your clock hours. Okay. So make sure that you are submitting the 25 clock hours. And I'll actually ask you to submit those in your weekly check or bi-weekly check-in so that you keep up with it. All right. So all right. For option 1, you'll also complete the experiential learning paper, and it'll have certain sections, including an introduction, and it tells you need to include a purpose statement, a concrete experience section, right? A reflective observation section, an abstract conceptualization section, and an active experimentation section, and a conclusion. And if you follow the instructions in each paragraph, it tells you almost exactly what information needs to be in each section. All right. So not a certain page number, but we give you a range. 10 to 20 is a good recommendation for pages on that document. Okay. If you're in option 1, you also complete bi-weekly check-ins. So you basically every 2 weeks you give me an update on how your project's going, and then I'll give you feedback that you might want to incorporate into your project going forward. Ask you how it relates to the concepts in the classes that you've taken already. All right. You'll submit that in Canvas. If you're in option 2, you'll do the investigative paper about a specific professional position. All right. And so again, you're researching that a particular job that is of interest to you. And then you'll also do the virtual speakers reports. So you'll get to, again, we'll have at least one that'll probably be asynchronous. You may get a live one as well. But that's essentially how that's going to work. All right. So you also have an interview with a professional in the field that you are studying. All right. So you'll get to do that and the final experience summary. Okay. So again, experiential learning opportunities are essentially all the activities in this course. It just depends on whether you're in option 1 or option 2. Okay. So in terms of resources, I list these here. Obviously, these are websites, so these aren't things you have to buy, but things that can help you in terms of writing your papers and assignments. All right, so in terms of course learning outcomes, again, explain the specific purposes of the practicum experience, identify the key proposed outcomes of the practicum experience, develop specialized skills specific to the roles, responsibilities of that job or of the practicum experience. Just demonstrate how you can practice new skills and abilities. Explain how the experiences that you go through are related to the roles and responsibilities of the practicum. So describe the importance of the different activities and how they're related to the practicum. Incorporate theory, particularly theories that you have studied in this program for increased depth of understanding in practicum activities and experiences. So I will, particularly in those weekly check-ins and those monthly assignments, for if you're in option 2, ask you, how does this relate to theory? So because you have studied, whether it's higher education student services, where we cover student development theory, or higher education leadership, where we cover leadership theory, you have definitely opportunities to incorporate theory into the practicum experience. And you finally analyze concepts from the practicum to show how they have value according to those experiences and activities. All right. Again, there's no required textbook to buy for this course, right? So I just want to make that clear. There are some recommended materials that you can access. So these are just more information related to the topics that we're covering in the practicum, but you are not required to purchase these books. And these books may also be available using the Tarleton Library databases. So that's not a guarantee, but it's worth checking out. All right, normal grading scale, but in terms of this course, it is based on the points that you earn, right? So essentially, if someone earns around 179 to 200, that equates to an A. 159 to 178 typically equates to a B. 139 to 158 typically equates to a C, and then basically anything below 139 points would not be passing, and you'd have to repeat the practicum, but I don't perceive that being an issue with any of you. All right. So in terms of failures, I just go over this because it is information that you need to know. So a student that never attended the course, but essentially was registered and never attended, that's an F0 grade. If a student stopped attending at some point in the semester, that's an FX grade. Or a student attended the whole semester but didn't pass, that's an F. But again, I don't foresee that being an issue. All right, in terms of feedback, expect to receive feedback and your grades on your assignments, particularly as it relates to things like APA format, how you integrate content from the program, right? So that's what you can expect. And, also if you're in option one, maybe potential next steps for your project, how it relates to theory. If you're in option two, information about maybe the thoroughness of the writing or connections that might be helpful as you move forward. Also, in terms of attendance for this course, since it is an online course, participating in the assignments, completing them on time, that is essentially how you participate in the course, right? So for those in option one, the weekly check-ins are usually done via discussion boards, so there's that opportunity to interact. All right, as far as the late or makeup work policy, it's basically there's a 20-point deduction for days that each day of the assignment is late, right? So if assignments were 50 points, if it's 1 day late, 20% is 10 points, so the maximum person could earn would be 40 points. Okay, AI, artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence has a lot of benefits, also comes with some risks. Some of the benefits deal with things like helping students explore information related to the course, developing different skills, creating an individualized learning experience, learning how to use it to make decisions. But it can also come with some risks in that sometimes the information it provides could be biased or inaccurate. Sometimes it can create a crutch where you aren't using your own problem solving skills or critical thinking skills. Also, it's important for us to know what you think. I can always type a prompt into Chat GPT or Gemini or any other tool and ask, what does it think? But I want to know what you think, right? So in terms of authorized and unauthorized use, again, we've talked about, authorized use deals with some of the benefits in terms of helping you learn, right? But it would be unauthorized to use it to copy and paste information unless I give you permission to do so, or citing it as a resource unless I tell you to do so. So again, for this class in particular, I want to know what you think. So in terms of consequences, you could be, if you are found using it, you could be asked to redo an assignment. You also there could be potential for academic dishonesty issues with the student conduct code. But again, the best practice is if you have a question about whether a use is authorized or unauthorized, just ask me, right? I understand AI is here and it can be a very powerful tool. So just ask me and I will let you know whether it's a good idea or not. Okay, here's a breakdown of the assignments for option 1 and option 2, how many points there are for them, and the due dates. Okay. All right. Also provides you kind of with the automatic list that Simple Syllabus provides, where you can see all of these assignments in one set, but it's, again, depends on whether you're in option 1 or option 2. Again, here are some optional readings. Again, these are not required, but if you'd like to read them, you can. Obviously, we have Canvas support. If you need to call for support, you can do that. You can also reach out to Campus Support Services. Information's here about our holidays, grade-related dates, as well as finals and commencement. All right. So as far as Canvas support, again, here are some other numbers you can use. Here's resources if you need help with APA format, academic integrity statement. So just make sure you submit your own work. If you need accommodations, please work with Student Accessibility Services, and they will send me any accommodations that you need to be successful in the course. All right, in terms of core values, again, integrity, do your own work and be ethical in terms of your work. Civility, we can always disagree. Let's just disagree respectfully and communicate with each other in a respectful way. Excellence, do your best work. Show up every day and do your best work. All right. So that is the syllabus. Again, briefly, you can see how the course is laid out. Here's the orientation. We can do the view the syllabus. You can get access to this video. Acknowledge that you've read the syllabus. There's a brief survey to let me know how I can help you better. Information about the Tarleton Library databases and Google Scholar. You can indicate your availability to participate in a discussion about the practicum, and if you have any questions, as well as the information about the comprehensive exam. All right, so also you need to let me know if you need to take the comprehensive exam this semester. All right, and here's where you'll also declare whether you're in option 1 or option 2. You got all the option 1 assignments here and the option 2 assignments. All right, well, I look forward to working with you, and we'll see you in the course. Let's get started.